Hey guys, welcome back. And in this video, I'm going to talk about how to get rid of that slice. And it is a tough one to get rid of. There's a couple of key moves that we can focus in on. Once you learn how to do these, it is so easy to draw the ball. So the first thing is, and probably the most common thing, when I see beginning players or even intermediate players that are slicing the ball, you may be hitting some good distance, you may have a lot of power, but you're losing a lot of that from the slice happening. So what's going on is this left knee, straight from the top, it's straightening up. And when that left knee straightens up, you'll notice how that kicks my right shoulder, that kicks the club out, and that gets the path of the club coming more to the left. And when I have that path or that direction I'm swinging more to the left, that's going to make it really difficult to come from the inside. So if we're coming over the top, left knee straightens out, my right side of my body comes over, and then I'm really coming over the top. If I want to hit a draw, I need to come more from the inside and let that club release. If we're looking at it from this direction, if I'm going to hit towards you, that's this, as soon as I start down, instead of the left knee turning out and staying bent, what happens is that left knee straightens, it locks up, that kicks everything out, and then I come across the ball like that. Let's go ahead and try one of those out, and I'm gonna hit this big slice to show you what's going on. Let's take a look. Oh, huge slice. That's definitely probably out of bounds. I lost a ton of yardage on that, so I have my flight scope radar out here. Let's take a look at some of the stats here. So my swing speed was 123 miles an hour. That's a lot of swing speed. If I could have got that delivered in the club squarely, that could be well over 300 yards. My carry distance on that shot was 225. That means that I'm losing tons of distance by wiping across the ball. It's like a glancing blow. I'm slapping the ball instead of delivering it like I'm hitting it with a hammer. If I look at my path, 17 degrees to the left. That means that my club is swinging this way to the left, over toward these trees to the left side of the fairway, 17 degrees. Anything 2 degrees or less is a really nice straight shot. And if I look at my face, it's wide open also. So that's the incorrect, locking that knee, coming over the top, losing tons of distance. You're swinging 123 miles an hour and getting 225 yards of carry. That's just not a very good drive. So now let's talk about how we're gonna fix this. The first thing is, let's do a few practice swings where we get this left leg to turn out. So if I'm hitting toward the camera, my first move down is to keep some flex in this leg, let my knee turn out what's gonna feel like going toward the camera, and then from there, that's gonna get me for the inside. Then I can straighten it up as I come to my follow through. I don't want to straighten it up in my early down swing and then swing across. I wanna keep it bent, straighten it out in the follow through. That's going to be the first key to that. As I'm doing this, you can imagine, as I let that knee turn out, now it's opening up all this room for me to come into the inside. I can let that club release on around there. Let's go ahead and try one out, and I'll give you two more tips that are going to make this even easier. So I'm really going to focus on that knee coming out, swinging to the right, and I'm going to let it straighten up only in the follow through. There we go, crushed that one right down the middle. That ball was hammered. I let that knee turn out, and then I fired on through. Came a little bit more from the inside. That ball, club head speed was 113.9. Actually swung slower on that one. My carry distance was 297, almost 300 yards of carry distance. My total distance was 307.7. My path was actually a little to the right. Last time it was 17 left. That one was 4.2 right. And then my face went ahead and released on over. 3.2 left. That got that nice draw. So if I'm still struggling, let's say that I get that knee out, and you say, okay, Clay, I get that, but I've been coming over the top for a while. I need a little extra help with this. Well, the second piece there is going to be working on this wrist. If I can take my wrist and go like this and let that come up, like if I'm driving a motorcycle here and I'm going to push the gas upward, that's going to close this face. That's going to bow this wrist. So when that happens, as I do that in my downswing, that's closing that face down, and I'm going to do that with momentum. I'm not waiting to the last second and then slamming the face like this. I'm letting the momentum happen the entire downswing to close that down there and let that turn on over. My right hand is doing this type of motion where it's like I'm turning a handle or a doorknob to the left. Those are happening in the same thing, same unison. Let's try another one out. I'm going to focus in on that. Let's see if I can get it maybe just to draw a little bit more than that last one. Oh, another straight shot, almost straight as a string. I'll take that all day long. So if I wanted to get it to draw, I could just do a little bit more than that. That was almost just a baby fade there. Let's see what the distance. 111 club head speed, didn't go at it quite as hard. 282 carry, 292 total. So we can see once those straightened out, my path was 3.7 to the right. Those are going a whole heck of a lot farther with slower club head speed than the one that I hit 225. So it's not about getting more speed all the time as it is delivering this club squarely. The last thing here we're going to work in on, and I mentioned a little bit in the last video, is momentum. I want the momentum of that club swinging out to the right. So if I can take this club with one arm, let it come in and over my shoulder, that's me working with momentum. I'm not muscling this club at all. I'm letting it swing way out to the right. I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to do the same thing. As I'm doing this, let's let that face turn on over, roll on over like we talked about. Imagine the toe of the club wrapping around the outside of the ball. So I'm imagining when I hit, it's going to feel like my toe is out here like this. This would be a slice, club face wide open. I'm going to feel like I'm letting that come on over. So as I have that momentum swinging out to the right, my club face is pointing to the left. This is obviously very exaggerated, but that's just a feeling that you're going to have. So once I do that a few times, a little bit goes a long way. I could even overdo that and get a hook. So if I put those three pieces together, get that knee working to create all the space, get those wrists working to release the club, and then get that momentum swinging out to the right, getting that face to the outside of the ball, that's when I'm really going to be able to hit that draw. If anything, you might overdo it and hit a few hooks. We'll tone that down a little bit. So let's go ahead and crush one. We got to end on a nice one here. Uh-oh, my flight scope timed out. Got a little too hot. I'm gonna let this cool off. We'll be right back. All right, so we're back. Let the iPad cool down a little bit and we're ready to absolutely hammer a nice draw out there. Let's see if we can get it over 300 yards for sure. Time to put those three pieces together. Let's go ahead and let it fly. Oh yeah, hit that one nice. A little bit of a draw. Let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers. All right, so that one hit a lot better. 116.6 club head speed, hit it nice and solid. 290 yards of carry. I'm definitely happy with that. Anything up around 280, 290 is a pretty good rip. And 302.7 for the total distance. So getting that knee out, letting that club release, getting those hands to turn on over, that's really going to help you to rip that drive. Even less club head speed and more distance is what we're all looking for. Best of luck. See you guys soon. All right guys, hope y'all really enjoyed this video. We talked about in this one how you don't even have to speed up your club head speed, but delivering that nice straight square shot, getting a little bit of a draw on there, can actually get you tons of distance. But what if we actually improved our distance or our club head speed at the same time? What if not only did we deliver the club more square, we added another 5, 10, or even 15 miles an hour club head speed? That's what I'm going to go over in the power turn. So in a second, I'm going to play a preview of our power turn video. If you click your iCard or down below in the description, you're going to get instant access to that video and pick up some real distance. Let's go ahead and get started. I'll see you in the power turn. But with the correct technique, we can all hit it with really good distance without a lot of muscular effort. And it all starts out, the very first thing you have to do is get a good powerful turn to load up the body. And it's not only in golf, but in all sports we have to rotate the body. At least 90 degrees with the shoulders as you swing to the top. Preferably, we can go even a little bit past 90 to really get loaded up. That's going to allow us to have a lot of power. So we don't just have to look at golf for this. Let's actually look at other sports. They're rotating their body, then they're coming forward. So we have to get that load. We have to get this big shoulder turn to be able to create power in the golf swing. So in this series of videos, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. That's one of the first keys to getting power, and we're all going to get at least a 90-degree turn, if not more than that. I think you'll be surprised at what you can do. So let's go ahead and get started with the next series of videos, and I'm going to show you how to get this big, powerful turn. All right guys, so before we go, let's take a look at this in action with some of the top pros. Now here we're looking at Adam Scott, and you're going to see as he rotates to the top, good full shoulder turn. This is pretty typical of what I see with the top pros, a little past 90. Those guys are working on their flexibility, so sometimes they can get to 100 or even 110 degrees.